G'day Gooners. Welcome to the first official post-match podcast with me, myself, George, and Callan. Callan, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, mate, after this morning, I'm a lot better. I am a lot better. Before I start, just want to sort of acknowledge the really good reception that we've had from friends, family, and just random members of the public who
Yeah,
can clearly, who appreciate what we do, who have sort of latched on to the message and the community that we're trying to create. Clearly, I don't know. There's more people who go through the same thing that we have than I thought. So yeah, the response has been incredible. Your comments, questions, DMs have been very, very overwhelming. So on behalf of both of us, I just want to say a huge thank you.
thank you guys. It's
Absolutely,
been it's been really good. I really like this community that we're building, and let's just keep going.
100%, 100%. And yeah, of course, if you have any more questions for us, feel free to DM the TikTok. I'm sure Callan can leave our personal Instagram handles as well. So if you want to get in touch, feel free to do that. Right,
All good.
let's go on with business.
Let's get into it. The game this morning.
Fulham, yeah, Fulham and nil, Arsenal won. For us, it was a 3:30 a.m. kickoff. I'm not sure about you, but myself and family were extended family. We were an hour and a half away at a birthday party, so we had to travel back. By the time we got home, it was about 2:15.
Yeah,
So I only had an hour really to wait until kickoff. But staying awake to almost 6 o'clock in the morning was pretty tough. I don't know how you thought about that, mate.
I was actually lucky enough to get a bit of sleep beforehand. It's 3:30 for me is the worst time for a game because it's so awkward. When it's like 2 a.m., I'm like, "Oh, I can stay up, especially if it's like a Sunday, that sort of thing. It's okay, and then you get a decent amount of sleep afterwards. But when it's 3:30, and then by the time the game finished, the sun was already coming back up. So it felt like such an awkward thing because I went to bed at 12, got about 3 hours, then got another like 5 hours after the game. It was a really awkward time, but ended up being worth it because I feel like when we do win the game, you don't feel as tired. I don't know if you feel the same way, but it's
100%.
strange, right?
If we get a negative result, all I want to do is go straight into bed.
Exactly
Whereas
right. Yeah.
if we win, which at the moment, thank God, is quite a lot of the time, I just want to listen to content and listen to post match and the analysis and interviews and all that. So it's very, very hard to switch off your brain. I'm sure all those who are watching from around the world can appreciate that. But in terms of the game, what did you think of the game? What did you think of, I guess, the lineup for starters, but then also just how the game went?
Yeah, I was happy with the lineup. There was only one change from what I would have done. I would have started Martinelli, but it was one of those things where I didn't really mind who started. I think obviously Trossard got the goal, so I guess it was a good decision from Arteta. But yeah, that Fulham has always been a team that we've sort of struggled against. I feel like in previous seasons that game we would have dropped points, but
Yeah,
obviously this season we're a lot stronger and we ended up getting the win even when we played bad, which I think is actually kind of good for us in a weird sort of way. Obviously you want to play good and win and dominate every single game, but if you can show that even when you play bad you can still grind out these results, I think it would be really beneficial for come the end of the season.
100%. We said it at the end of the first time we sort of spoke on camera, and it was just get the 3 points. I don't really
Yeah.
care how. I don't really care the situation. Get the 3 points on the board and move on. And the famous 1-0 to the Arsenal. You know what? Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, I don't know about you. I thought we were actually quite poor. Technically,
Yeah.
I thought we were poor. I thought, especially in the first 20 minutes, players that you wouldn't associate with giving the ball away in bad areas were giving the ball away constantly in bad areas. Gabriel, I think 2 or 3 times. I think even Saka, Declan Rice, like players that we really trust, were giving the ball away in poor areas, and they have the players for them to really hurt us.
Mhm.
Obviously, Josh King's a good player, Wobie, Jimenez, etc. Talk to me about Ricardo Calafiori. Like
He's
I
just
find it, he's so fascinating, isn't he? Like he's not the typical defensive player. Obviously, Mikel, since coming in, has played with inverted fullbacks, right? But Calafiori is something that I've not really ever seen from that position before. I don't know what you think about it, but you tell me.
Yeah, he's a bit of a strange player, but honestly, I love him. Like, there's some points where he's over on the right wing. He's just everywhere. He's just such a good presence in our team. I feel like in previous seasons we've had Timber playing that position, Zinchenko obviously as well. But with him, it's a different profile. He's not really the one that's gonna be as technical as like a Zinchenko, but his presence, his size as well, like I think it's really beneficial for us, and obviously his stamina as well. It's such a shame that last season we didn't get to see too much of him because he had um, a lot of injuries last season. So I'm really excited to see how he's gonna continue on.
100%. And the first thing we got to say is like obviously Miles Lewis-Skelly did so well last season,
Yeah,
and so for Calafiori to come back in after all these injuries to keep Miles out, he must be doing something right. I think as well, we play pretty much 80 to 90% of games against mid to low blocks. And Fulham was no different. They played in a mid block, a 4-4-2 mid block, very, very hard to break down. They were leaving Saliba and Gabriel on the ball to sort of try and break them down. And Declan Rice was coming sort of beyond the block. He was trying to receive the ball even more sort of deep to try and, I guess, speed up that process. But we were really, really struggling to get those, I guess, tens on the ball. Like we were struggling to get Trossard on the ball in narrow areas. He was always receiving the ball out wide. We were struggling to get Eze on the ball, who, I mean, I love Eze to bits, but I didn't think he had a great game, to be honest with you. I thought he gave the ball away. He was maybe slightly too risky in that center of the park when you don't really get that many chances to really get the ball on the half turn and go. The times that he was doing it, I thought he was losing the ball just slightly too much. But that brings me back to Calafiori, who was sort of forcing the issue. His movement off the ball meant that we were getting the ball in situations where we could cause trouble, and that sort of came in. I don't know how many minutes in, but he put the ball straight in the top corner. He was
yeah,
obviously
yeah.
marginally offside, but I think he gives us a different dimension, and he is a top player. And I honestly, as you said, I can't wait to see what he sort of brings for the rest of the season.
You got a
Eze,
feel for. I just want to touch on Lewis Skelly. I feel like
please do.
last season he was obviously our starter, and you got a feel for him. Do you think there's any way that Lewis Skelly could come back into this team, maybe in a different role? Obviously, in the youth teams, he's played as a six. Do you think that's something that going forward that Arteta could implement, or would you still keep him on the left back as a backup to Calafiori?
I think there is a big difference between academy football and first team football now. I think that the difference maybe 10, 15 years ago wasn't, and the gap wasn't as large as it is now. So I think in his whole professional career, in his first team career, he's always played as an inverted left back. So at least for the next couple of years of his development, I don't expect to see him play often in that midfield role. I mean, he can definitely do it in that left eight, in that six. He's quality player, amazing at using his body in contact to sort of go round players, to commit. He's very, very brave on the ball. So that is definitely, I guess, a value that Mikel looks for in a midfielder. But to me, like our left back, unless you're playing against the top teams, they rarely really occupy left back
Yeah,
positions, right? They play more either central next to a number six in a double pivot, or they occupy, I guess, a left eight position. And I guess that's again something slightly different from last season, where Declan Rice would usually occupy that left eight position, and it would be quite rigid. Whereas now, obviously, we spoke about it briefly last time that Rice was playing slightly deeper, so that gives license to the Calafioris of this world to sort of occupy that space. And I think that Mars will be doing that. It wouldn't shock me if against Atletico Madrid in the week he would start as our left back. That wouldn't shock me. But I think what we have now in our squad is the ability to rotate, and we don't really feel the effects like we've done in previous seasons. So it's great to have the squad depth that we do. And it's great to have someone like Miles who can come on for 20 minutes at the end of a Premier League game when Calafiori's been booked because he's done something silly and he's tired. So that's what I think about Miles. He'll get loads of game time, no doubts about it.
yeah, exactly right. So, Eze, you mentioned before not the best game. What was your thoughts overall on his game?
It's weird because Eze is used to playing against teams who will come and press. So the spaces, and I think Arteta said it in his post-match as well, actually, that the spaces that he would usually get on a football pitch are very, very different to the ones he gets playing for Arsenal than he would do playing for a Palace, or necessarily. I mean, it's probably more similar when he plays for England than when he plays for Arsenal. Um, and you're playing against mid-low blocks, very, very narrow. So to me, I think he'll best be utilized in a wide position. And I think seeing his performance this morning really, to me, highlighted how important Odegaard is to this team. What he does off the ball, how he leads us in the press. He has such a feel for the game and feel for what the game needs at a certain time that I don't think Eze naturally has necessarily. Listen, if you get Eze into dangerous areas, he will cause issues, no doubts about it. I just didn't think that he was getting the ball in those areas. It's quite simple. I don't think we were passing the ball. I think our ball speed was fast enough in the first half, especially. I don't think we were moving the ball fast enough to really, I guess, suck and drag Fulham out of their block to then penetrate and play into those pockets. So it's probably quite similar to what I think about Gyokeres, and we'll come on to him later, I'm sure. But it's players in those positions require service. They require the ability for the rest of the team to get the ball into them quickly, and we didn't do it. And so the Ezes are going to look like they're not really impacting the game, and it didn't shock me that he got bought off after half time. I don't know what you thought.
Yeah, he looked like a bit of like a shadow of himself in that game compared to what we've seen in previous weeks. He was losing the ball quite a lot. Yeah, and as you said before, it just does highlight Odegaard, because Odegaard is a lot more. His work rate's a little bit higher. He's going to drop a little bit deeper to get the ball. And Eze, he looked a little bit lackluster today. It was quite disappointing, to be honest. But do you think like maybe a sort of like a Wanyeri should have came on, or maybe even Trossard in that position? Do you think that should have came a bit earlier? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, weirdly enough, at half time, I was texting my brother, and I said to him that if I was Mikel, I would bring Trossard off. That tells you how much I know as a coach, right?
Oh no, I agree. I
would have bought off Trossard. I would have moved Eze out wide, and then I would have bought on a Wanyeri. Craven Cottage is one of those grounds. It's sort of like Bournemouth, right? But it feels really small. It feels really compact. So those players who are more natural at playing inside a block, inside the pockets, for me, would be the players that I would have chosen to either start or to come on in that game. So I was quite surprised that move wasn't made by Mikel, but you know, Mikel Merino came on and did his thing, I guess. The goal, set piece again, ole ole. It's unbelievable, isn't it? It's just ridiculous, the amount of set pieces that we.
Feels like every week now, doesn't it?
We talked about it briefly last time, and dominating every single phase of the game.
Yeah. And
set pieces is something that what's amazing is that never in the history have I known a set piece coach, like the name of a set piece coach. And Nicholas Jover is made such a name for himself, and he's done an unbelievable job along with the other coaching staff with drilling these set pieces in. And we are so prolific. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good. And obviously Gabriel, he did kind of get the assist for it, I guess. It did skim off his head, but it's just about even just the height of our players. I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of these signings that Arteta has made in the last few years, especially defenders, have all been like big, above 6 foot sort of defenders, and they're always going to win the ball off these corners. And it was actually lucky enough that Trossard was just at the back post, probably our shortest player there, to just tap it in. But I think that goal actually saved Trossard today, because I agree with you what you mentioned before. I don't think he had his best game, to be honest, but you got the goal in the end, and that's what counts, I guess.
100%. It didn't really look free flowing today, did it? I mean,
no.
That could be because of how Fulham set up, to be honest with you. But even the fact that they set up like that, we've played against so many mid to low blocks in the last couple of years, and we passed the ball so much better than we did today. So I was slightly disappointed after waiting the international break to then watch that. Excuse me, that style or the lack of, I don't know, prowess and ability. But I guess we've mentioned it a few times now. Getting the job done at these grounds is a lot easier said than done. So if you get the job done, you move on. You sit on the couch, and for those in England, you're sitting on Sunday just on the couch, feet up, watching the Scousers go to United and see what happens, I guess.
Yeah. Do you think it could be an upset in that game? Do you think Man United could get something?
You know what it is with United, you just never know. You never know what United are going to see.
Right, yeah.
And they usually turn up like better for the big games. So potentially, and I think I'm not sure if Kanate might be out for Liverpool as well. So that could be quite. I think he came off for France in the international break. So who knows? But even if they listen, I expect Liverpool to win many games this season. So even if they win, we're still sitting top of the league, and that's exactly where we want to be. I'm a firm believer that I prefer to be on top of the pack rather than chasing the pack. So
exactly right.
The title's in our hands, right? We're in control of our destiny, which is where we want to be, 100%.
Exactly right. Just touching on Gyokeres, obviously no goal again today. First of all, what did you think of his performance?
Victor Gyokeres. I feel for him because he does so much good work for the team, and he almost creates situations by himself, and the ball's just not sitting right for him. Like he sort of created one chance for himself in the second half, and the ball bounced on his left foot, and he hit the ball over the bar. And I just wanted that to fall to his right foot. And he created a few chances, a few snapshots. Leno made a few decent saves, to be fair. But I thought today of maybe since I've started watching Gyokeres play for Arsenal, I think that his first touch, his hold-up play wasn't very good today. The ball wasn't sticking to him. So that was slightly disappointing. But what you always get with him is his work rate. It's unbelievable the amount of ground he covers and the intensity at which he does it. And he almost gives us like a platform to play. And it gives Saka, who we can also touch on, by the way, because I thought he was outstanding yesterday, more space. And that's what we sort of are crying for our wide players. And I don't doubt that when like Madueke comes back, for example, it will be the same for him. What did you think of his performance?
I think he should have got a goal, to be honest. But I do agree with you that it does open a lot of space. Like we saw Saka today, obviously incredible. He had Sessegnon on strings today, not making him a few times as well. But just touching on Gyokeres, because before the game, Arteta had an interesting quote. I'll just read it out for you, August. Just get your thoughts on it. But he said, I told him before the first meeting, the 9 that I want is a 9 that when he doesn't score for 6 or 8 games, he can handle that. What are your thoughts on that? Because obviously, when we got Gyokeres, we were expecting, we want him to score every game. But Arteta's clearly happy he can go on a drought and he's still fine with that.
Yeah, I think that when we started getting good again, we had goal scorers from every single direction, right? We didn't have one player who'd scored 20 plus goals. We had 15 goals for Odegaard. We had 16 goals from Saka, 15 from Martinelli. The goals were spread. So I think you can win title. I mean, obviously we didn't win the title that year, but you can win titles by doing that. I also see the argument of, well, if you have a striker who bangs 20, 25 goals in a season, you've always got a good chance. I mean, seeing what Haaland's doing now, it's absolutely outrageous, the level that he's sort of getting himself to. But with Gyokeres, I think he'll score goals. I don't have I'm not very worried about that situation. And there is merit to what Arteta is saying, right? That you're going to have times where you're playing against these low blocks and you're not going to score. But who cares if we're winning? Who cares? As long as his confidence is still where it needs to be and he still wants it as much as he did the week before, the training session before, I don't have a problem with him not scoring as long as he's contributing. I don't know what you think, but that is sort of where I just feel that elite strikers will score or assist or contribute every single game. If he has stinker after stinker, that's a whole different story. But I don't think it is that at the moment.
Yeah, we touched on it last time, but it does seem like it is coming together. Like obviously he should have got the goal today. That one on his left foot is the one that I'm referring to. There's also that one that I think Martinelli probably should have gotten the rebound for.
Yeah,
but he is getting himself in these spaces. I think we should be more worried if he wasn't even in these chances at all. I think that would be a cause for concern. But yeah, he's opening up all these other chances for his teammates around him, which I guess is what football's about, really, just being a good team player. So if that can help us in the long run, then we'll definitely take it.
What I will say about him is that he wasn't my first choice. My first choice was Benjamin Sesko because of his technical ability, his physical ability, and the footballing side of things. And and when I watch Gyokeres, I do see a bit more of a clunkier style to his game that I would understand why Mikel didn't want that as his priority. But the mental side of the game is something that you can't really teach, and Gyokeres has it. He has it. He wants to score every game. He puts his body about. And we refer to Šeško, and they had a penalty shootout United. And I'm pretty sure he was the 10th taker.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Yeah.
And if you're number 9, you want to be the first taker. And I think that's where we have a big advantage when it comes to Gyokeres. But statistically, you're seeing what like Voltemade is doing at Newcastle. I mean, what a goal he scored, by the way. And Ekitike and Isak and that type of striker. It wouldn't surprise me if that's what Mikel wanted maybe as his priority. But I think we're going to gain a lot from having a different profile in Gyokeres in the squad. And I think we're already seeing it. I mean, as I said previously, we're top of the league. So we're doing something right.
Just on Havertz, because I believe he should be coming back somewhat soon. How would you go about integrating him back into this team? Do you think there would ever be a world where Arteta could drop Gyokeres if he's not scoring? Or do you think he would continue to back him and maybe bring on Havertz, maybe in that left-sided 8 that we've seen didn't really work a few times last season, or as the number 9? What are your thoughts on that?
Havertz is an interesting one. I think firstly, the integration has to be slowly. He has to be slowly integrated just because of the nature of his injury and the injury he had at the end of last season as well. I've heard he's an absolute beast in the gym.
Yeah.
And he's coming back like a maniac, which is great to see. I think it'll be a game-to-game basis. I think depending on who your opposition is, that will depend on what Mikel wants from his number 9. What Havertz does really, really well is the linking of the game. He understands the press. He obviously works extremely hard as well. And he seems to have a really good relationship with like Odegaard. I know they're really good pals off the pitch as well. And yeah, he's going to be very, very, very valuable for us. And to me, the most important thing is that we have the availability in May. If we have the bulk of our squad available when it comes to the crunch time, the trophy season time, then I'm really confident. So that's the most important thing for me. He'll get game time, whether it's at 9, at left or right 8, as a number 10, even out on the right-hand side. He'll get game time, and I'm happy with however much or many games and minutes he gets. To me, it's just keep fit. And it's the same with Ben White. And it's the same with Hincapié when he comes back. It's the same with Madueke. And the same with Jesus. To me, the most important thing is that we have a squad when it really matters, because we haven't had that really in the last couple of years. I mean, maybe the year that we went toe-to-toe with City and didn't win it on the last day, we didn't have that many injuries. And you can just sort of hold your hand up and say City were just better. But other than that, 3 seasons ago, Saliba and Tomiyasu were injured on the same day, and Rob Holding, bless him, came in and just wasn't the same level. And then last season, we had crazy amounts of injuries. So with Havertz and the rest, I just want them all to be around. Would you want Havertz playing as a 9, or where else would you see him sort of fit?
I mentioned it earlier, but the couple seasons ago when we saw him in that left 8 position, I think Declan Rice is just levels above, and he's kind of transformed that position for us. So me personally, I love Havertz as a 9, because that's sort of one of my favorite sorts of players, is that false 9 position that he sort of occupies, drops deep, links up. So obviously a different profile to Gyokeres. Gyokeres is, a bit more clunky, as you mentioned before, stronger. But I think Havertz, I think he can do really well in this team, especially at the latter end of the season. Coming on for Gyokeres as well, I think it just gives us a different sort of player that would be very beneficial for us. So
it wouldn't shock me in some games if they played together.
Yeah,
maybe not from the start, but if I don't know, we need a goal and you need, I guess, 2 profiles up there, it wouldn't shock me if they both played together.
Yeah, exactly. And then obviously with Jesus coming back as well, that's a completely different profile to those 2. So it just gives us more options.
I know you're a big Jesus fan.
Yeah, I am, but it's such a shame because it's so hard to tell if he's going to even be able to contribute to this team at all. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think Jesus has any role to play for the rest of the season, or even in that number 9 position?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if you can get him fit, there's obviously a role for Jesus, even if it's off the left or off the right, when in his last year at City, he played often as a winger. And I think Pep referred to him as the best off the ball player he's ever had. So that tells me, along with what I've seen with my eyes and the big moments that he's coming at, assist against Bayern for Trossard a few seasons ago, the last minute goal against United to really seal that win, when he sent, I think it was Diego Dallo, for an absolute hot dog. He's just quality, and that first 6 months that he had with us, it was quality. So
it's insane.
Yeah, 100%. So very, very talented player. If you can get him fit, he will obviously add something to us. We're in 4 competitions. We need a big squad, and we need players available. So yeah, no, he's a quality player, and I think that if he stays fit, I think that's the most important thing for him is staying fit, and maybe the fact that he's not, I guess, I wouldn't say as valued. I think what I would say is he's not as relied upon as he used to be. I think that might be better for him because he won't be exposed to so many minutes at once or consecutively. So he'll be able to get the rest in between games. And he could definitely be good for us come the end of the season. 100%.
Yeah, exactly. Just touching back on the Fulham game, obviously that result means that we're the top of the table by 3 points, I believe, 19 points, and City's on 16. Obviously, Liverpool play tomorrow. Do you think our win today, has any impact on how Liverpool will play, or what are your thoughts on that?
I always prefer to play first.
Yeah, same here.
Because it just does put pressure. There were so many times last season where City and Liverpool would play first, and then I would automatically be more nervous after they'd won.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine the players would be any different. So yeah, massive for us. I think that the players can take a lot of confidence from this game. I mean, I don't think that, if I'm correct, I don't think Fulham registered a shot on target.
No, they didn't. No.
And that's the second game in a row, right? It's the second consecutive game. So I think that's the first time that's happened for us since 2003. There's something definitely to be said about our back four, and I guess the defensive coaching and the structure. What do you think about it?
I mean, obviously Arteta's prioritized this defense. It's been a bit of a joke recently how many defenders he's actually brought in, but we've seen it turn out well. I mean, Hincapié has barely played any minutes for us, and he was playing for Bayer Leverkusen last season, which is an incredible team in Europe. So, I mean, I just on that, I wanted to ask you because I saw something very interesting earlier today, and it was about the Chelsea 15-goal record. Do you think there's ever a chance we could beat that, or do you think that record's a bit too far-fetched?
I mean, I don't want to take anything away from that Chelsea team. They were unbelievable. Was it under Mourinho? It must have been at that time, right? But this team, they're close. I tell you what, they're not far off. I think the standard of the Premier League now, I think, is probably much higher on average. So, like, even the teams lower down the table can cause trouble in any given moment. So I don't think we'll ever see something like that again. What I do think is we will, in the last, 10 years, I would say that this team would score the least amount of goals, if you like. So I can see them setting some sort of record, but I'm not sure about the 15 goals. What do you think?
Exactly what you said. The Premier League's a lot more competitive now. So, I mean, I doubt it. But you also got to look at, like, the last time we conceded 3 goals in a game was almost like 2 years ago now. It was that Luton 4-3 win, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we are getting really good at just not conceding goals. And that today was a perfect example of that, because in previous seasons, we might let a goal slip in, because our defense would be a lot weaker as well. But being able to just, all we have to do is just score 1 goal and we get the win, as long as provided we get the clean sheet. And I think Raya has a big part of that as well. Obviously, Raya a bit more quiet today, not much we can talk about with him today. But I think it was just all around pretty, like, a very grinding out performance, if you know what I mean.
100%. And that takes a lot of character as well as ability. So, credit to everyone involved. I mean, it's just class. That sort of plays big emphasis on us getting the first goal in games. Like that Calafiori goal, to me opens up the whole game. So obviously he was offside, very frustrating. But I think going forward, I never worry as soon if we score the first goal, I don't worry. I think that we're going to win the match.
Yeah.
When we concede, that's when I sort of get slightly more. I don't know. I wouldn't say worried is the right word, but yeah, I think about the game more when we struggle to break teams down, and when that time of not scoring goes for longer and longer and longer across the first half, going into the second half.
Yeah, well,
So
we saw it in the Newcastle game. They scored the
100%.
first goal, obviously Voltamata, and the whole game was so stressful. Like it wasn't until like the 85th minute when Marino came on and scored for us. So I think that result as well was also very important. Just going back to the Newcastle game, being able to
100%.
just show that we can do it. I think if we went 2 goals down, it'd be a different story because I think
Yeah,
our output has been a little bit lower compared to previous seasons, especially the 23-24 season where we scored insane amount of goals. So yeah, I think being able to that result really showed our team that we can do it, and I think that provided a lot of confidence as well.
for sure, for sure. And it really I guess, really stresses dominance, and I guess having the football for a long period of time doesn't necessarily mean you're going to really cause problems, right? So
Yeah,
the emphasis on us scoring that first goal opens the floodgates, and I think that set pieces is a great way of doing it, and it's been proven over a large sample size that we are very, very capable of doing that. So credit to them.
thanks for watching, guys. That's all we have time for today. We'll be back to do a pod for the Atletico Madrid game, the preview of that, the build up, our lineups, predictions, all that good stuff. Make sure to like, share, and follow, and also send in some questions as well. We're open to doing a Q&A, so send in your questions, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.
G'day Gooners.
Good day, Gooners.